Hi and welcome to A World of Words. I'm Vanessa and today we're going to be talking about flashbacks. I like writing flashbacks. A brief glimpse into the character's life a little before or sometimes way before the current situation. But yes, I know. Flashbacks take away from the forward momentum of the plot. In fact, they make the momentum turn around and start going backwards because we're going back. So now you're probably wondering, so they're fun to write, but I shouldn't use them if I want to move the plot forward. I'm not saying never use flashbacks, because then I would be a hypocrite, but you do need to be smart about it. Obviously, don't put a long, poignant flashback in the middle of an action sequence or right after you've left your readers with a very dramatic cliffhanger. To be very blunt, I would skim over those pages if someone tried to do that in a book I was reading. Honestly, I do believe people have tried that, and I did just flip on past. Something also needs to trigger the flashback so that it doesn't completely disorient your readers. Anytime you switch from present to past, it will be mildly disorienting, but you want it to seem as seamless as possible. There are endless ways of how you can transition your readers into a flashback. The easiest and the most commonly used method, picking up a photo and remembering the time. You can also do the same thing with any object, which a lot of writers like to do. Character lifted the trophy off of a dusty shelf and remembered the day his team won the game. Oh, how the sun was shining and the crowd cheered, and you get the idea. Scents can also bring back memories. The smell of cinnamon buns reminded Christy of Sunday mornings around the breakfast table. There was one day when she was 9 and her sister were easy enough, right? You can use any of the 5 senses, or a location can work nicely, as well as certain songs, etc. But when, you ask, since earlier I did say you need to be careful where you place these lovely, or maybe not so lovely, little glimpses of life. And how do you decide if the info deserves a whole flashback, or just a brief bit of exposition explaining its significance will be good enough? I would suggest putting a flashback in a place that is pretty moderately paced. You don't want to hear about the Sunday morning cinnamon buns of Christy's childhood when Milo's car just drove off a cliff in the previous page. You want to know if Milo is dead. So maybe after you learn Milo is recovering in the hospital, spoiler alert, then, while Christy's baking some cinnamon buns to bring to Milo in the hospital, she could be reminded of her childhood. That's also really good if the flashback has relevance to the plot. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to, it can just be kind of like a small little glimpse into the character's past as long as it's brief, but if the flashback can also have relevance to the plot, that is like good for you. So maybe Christy remembers that her 9-year-old self and her sister were fighting over this old locket that they found in the backyard. And the locket must be the thing that's a clue to why the ghost is haunting them. Wow. Now Milo and Christy can discuss this in the hospital while they enjoy the cinnamon buns. As far as deciding what is worth a flashback, you can always just try both the exposition and the flashback. You may find that the brief exposition is enough, or that maybe your readers will benefit from the glimpse of the past. Maybe you want to evoke some sort of emotions where the readers really need to see everything playing out in order to really understand it. Or maybe, you know, all you really need is a few sentences explaining why this particular item is significant, why this song is significant, why this photo is significant, all that good stuff. The best way is just to try both methods and see which one you think works best, or if you really can't decide, just give it to somebody else and see if, you know, they're confused by the brief exposition, or see if they're, say, bored by the flashback. Do you have fun with flashbacks, or do you avoid them? Have you ever read a really creative transition into a flashback? Or have you ever encountered some really clumsy, horribly placed flashbacks? Let me know in the comments below. I really hope this video was helpful to you. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye!